So now that we've had a day to properly digest everything, let me go ahead and start this video off with some of the reactions to the 2024 presidential election.
System works. We live in a democracy. People spoke. This is what people wanted. I vehemently disagree with the decision that Americans made, but I feel very, very hopeful that we have a democratic system in this country. We should value it. We should love it. We should protest if the situation arises that we need to protest, which I'm sure it will. And I've been through this before with Nixon. It's been very difficult. But boy, oh boy, do we have a country if we can keep it.
Yeah.
I believe Trump's actually going to win this fucking thing. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm so pissed off. Fuck. 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 God damn it.
How did we get here? What in the Alice in Wonderland nightmares is going on right now?
All I can say is how fucking dare you.
If you voted for that man, if you voted for anybody other than Kamala and you live in one of the states that it was, close, or if you didn't vote, fuck you.
Senate race. It's not going to happen. Go Kamala.
I chose family. I chose women. I chose America. I love you.
How the fuck is this still happening? All I've ever known politically is hatred.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with you. I'm done with you and your mother and your sister. I'm just done with all of this.
I'm sorry to all my friends who are Trump supporters. But you don't understand how scared of this man I am. If this guy does end up winning again, all of the people who voted for him will be like happy and they'll just be celebrating. And everyone else, everyone who feels threatened by him is fucking scared. Like we're scared for our lives. We're scared for our friends.
That's not just social media. That right there is a compilation that was put together by Alex Jones's new show. And of course, some additional reactions that I had found. Now, guys, before we get started, before we talk about the media itself and why it is that the media is dead, especially Msnbc, make sure you guys please go ahead and cut the notifications on for the channel. Please, if you guys can, go ahead and hit the like button so that way the video will pick up in the algorithm. Make sure you guys stick around for the full bit. Please cut the notifications on once again so that way you guys are notified when the videos are posted. You can also follow me on Facebook right here. I'll try to link I'll probably just put the website link in the description box, but of course you guys can find me there. And you can also find me on Twitter. I'll be linking a pinned tweet in the description box. That way you guys can follow me on X or Twitter, which, I still call it Twitter. But I'm here to tell you guys that the mainstream media as a whole is dead. Now, we're going to be talking a lot about the left going forward for the rest of this week because, yeah, Kamala Harris, she's already conceded. Let's see. That's right, the Biden DOJ. And, of course, we're going to be talking a lot about this over the course of the week because this right here has got to do with the left as a whole because they are, in fact, for the most part, they're going to be waning going forward because they gave their followers hopium that Trump was going to be going to jail, going to be going to prison. But it looks to me like the case in New York, the sentencing date is about to get, removed. You've also got Jack Smith, the special prosecutor. He is stepping down, and all the other court cases are winding down against it because it's not exactly a good look to try to continue to persecute the sitting president of the United States once he gets in charge. Speaking of Alex Jones, he did come up with a scenario that I'll discuss a little bit later on this week of what could happen between now and Election Day, which of course I've even talked about. So I'll be revisiting that a little bit later on this week. So seeing how it is that the Department of Justice is beginning to wind down their cases, seeing how it is that Trump is already beginning to set aside or set up his new government, seeing how it is that obviously the celebrations are continuing, even though there are some protests in places like Chicago, I want to go ahead and just talk a little bit about the mainstream media and why it is that the media is, in fact, dead. Few bits and pieces that stuck out to me, so we'll be going over that here in a second. But first and foremost, let's play another montage of mainstream media reactions to Trump becoming president.
This is the biggest red wave I've seen since Ronald Reagan's 49-state victory.
There were appeals to racism in this campaign, and there is racial bias in this country, and there is sexism in this country.
I can't help but wonder if the American people have given up on democracy.
I hear what you're saying, and I do see it differently because I'm thinking about the people who are not a part of anybody's elite, who are hurting tonight.
If you were a 6'4" white man from Arkansas or from, Florida, do you think she would be losing by that much?
I think that we've got to be honest. Among Hispanic men and black men, there's a lot of misogyny.
There are African-American women who know a little bit about being talked down to and know a little bit about having their economic dreams crushed, who tried to dream a big dream over the past couple of months.
It's not enough to get enough white women to vote for Vice President Harris, a fellow woman. This will be the second opportunity that white women in this country have to change the way that they interact with the patriarchy.
There's misogyny. But it's not just misogyny from white men.
Mm-hmm.
It's misogyny from Hispanic men.
Right.
It's misogyny from black men.
And tonight they're trading in a lot of hope for a lot of hurt.
I, for one, am not surprised that these idiots could not help themselves. They doubled down, they tripled down, they quadrupled down on the rhetoric, and guess what? They will never learn from this, and it will be like this for them really forever. The way it was put together by the Daily Caller. I'm going to link this video right here in the description box from Greg Foreman. He had one that he released yesterday. It was right around 15 minutes long. Like the first 8 minutes of it is nothing but pure reactions. Reactions that, quite frankly, I could not pick up. So, obviously, these people have been gassed up. Obviously, they've gaslit their base, and their base is crying right now. But the thing is this right here. MSDNC and probably the Democratic Party going forward is probably dead. Now, that may seem a little bit hyperbolic. I know some Democrats will come across here and say, we'll win the next election. No, I don't think you will. And like I said, we'll be explaining that over the course of the week. But I want to start with the media. The mainstream media lost its credibility a long time ago. And, of course, it's gotten to the point to where channels like, say, MSDNC, let's just say that they've turned into basically a propaganda channel. I mean, you guys obviously saw some of that stuff. But, of course, the other reactions that I, quite frankly, want to talk about in this video right here kind of proves my point about the Democratic Party eventually dying. The biggest reason why is because they, quite frankly, can't help themselves. Like, for example, the fact that Trump improved with black men, improved with Hispanic men. Guess what they decided to do? They decided to say that Hispanic men were racist and misogynistic. By the way, you have to have Hispanics to survive as a political party or a political coalition going forward. We could be seeing the full-blown death of the Rainbow Coalition. But let's play this, watch to the very, very end, and just see how hilarious this is.
Really quickly, too. Democrats need to be mature, and they need to be honest. And they need to say, yes, there's misogyny. But it's not just misogyny from white men.
Mm-hmm.
It's misogyny from Hispanic men.
Right.
It's misogyny from black men, things we've all been talking about, who do not want a woman leading them. Might be race issues with Hispanics. They don't want a black woman as president of the United States. You know, the Democratic Party, I've always found when you're sitting around talking, they love to just sort of balkanize everybody into these separate groups and say, oh, white people don't like women and black people. No, it is time for the Democrats to say, okay, and you and I have talked about this before, a lot of Hispanic voters have problems with black candidates.
Right.
A lot
and
of,
with other Hispanics. You got some that don't like each other. And the most misogynist things I've heard going on this Get Out the Vote tour came from black men. I mean, misogynist things. So you're absolutely right. It's not simplistic. And we've got to have real honest conversations.
Call Hispanics racist against black people and black people racist against Hispanics. Wait a minute. Did I do some videos on how it is that little coalition was not going to hold together? It looks to me like Democrats are either starting to wake up to the realization that the Rainbow Coalition was a mistake, or maybe they always knew it was a mistake, and maybe their goal the entire time was to try to divide this country like absolute crazy. There's also something else, too. I'm going to link a couple more videos in the description box. One of these where I come from Melanie King. She was reading Barack Obama's statement, which I will get into a little bit later on this week. And then to go on top of that, there is also this video from Patrick Bet David podcast that I'm going to link in the description box. I advise you guys watch, because that right there is what I'm about to discuss now. So I've been saying for a while that my videos will probably be a little bit shorter in tone. This is obviously an example of one of those videos. But here's what I wanted to point out. Seeing how it is that these shorter videos are going to be designed to focus on primarily one topic, it is the topic that is the death of the mainstream media going forward. Now, like I said, I know it sounds a little bit repetitive, but let me just go ahead and kind of explain things. At this moment in time, Comcast, who owns Msnbc, they are considering selling MSDNC. Now, what do you think is going to happen should they sell MSDNC? They're probably going to want to get rid of certain figures like, say, this person here.
Our final sprint, having arrived at that point in the election season where basically we on this side of the TV screen have said all we can. We've laid out the stakes in this crucial election where one side stands for freedom while the other meets the textbook definition of fascism, namely a far-right dictatorial regime like Hitler's Germany or Franco's Spain or Mussolini's Italy, but also white-ruled South Africa before Mandela and the black majority took control, or Vladimir Putin's Russia, Viktor Orban's Hungary, or Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela today, that suppresses the rights of women and minorities, uses the military to execute the whims of a strongman dictator, and controls and suppresses the press, education, the arts, rewrites history to suit a favored and dominant racial class, and foments extravagant corruption.
Yes, we can't scream and holler fascist enough, but they're going to want to get rid of her. They're going to want to get rid of Eli Mistal. They're going to want to get rid of pretty much all the race peddlers at the network, whoever it is that decides to purchase MSDNC, or they could altogether just shut it down. Next thing you know, people like Joy Reid, people like Eli Mistal, people like Michael Steele, the race peddlers, the race hustlers. Michael Steele, I think, is just a weakling. He was the former head of the RNC. These people are just tropes into irrelevance. Maybe they get YouTube channels, but who the hell is going to watch? However, that does not mean that the left itself is dead going forward. I said that they will be talking a lot about the left, but I did also say that the Democratic Party was probably dead, mostly due to the racial division that these people pushed. I mean, it doesn't look to me like these people are going to be able to do what Bill Clinton did in the early 90s and to remind people that we're actually Southern conservatives who were Democrats. But in reality, the only reason why Bill Clinton got elected was because Ross Perot came around and basically kneecapped George Herbert Walker Bush. And no, I am not a fan of George Herbert Walker Bush, but that is one of the most consequential decisions, consequential things that have ever happened in this country's history, because it is very possible that HW could have defeated Bill Clinton, and by doing that, we wouldn't have the hellscape that we have today, because when Bill Clinton won, he got reelected, and then later on, the Democratic Party changed and went to a much, much more further left direction when Obama ran in 2008 and then got reelected in 2012. And of course, Hillary Clinton was basically an extension of that, even though she claimed she was trying to get back to where her husband was. The fact of the matter is the Democratic Party is going to be dead going forward, and we'll be talking more about that later on. But back to the media. The point of the entire video is to show you guys that it's MSDNC, the largest propaganda wing for the left, the Democratic Party, is already looking like it's not exactly credible, meaning that they've lied to their viewers. They've gassed them up so damn much that now their own viewership is not going to believe them going forward. There's also these bits from Joe Scarborough that I'm playing for you guys in the B-roll footage that kind of signify exactly how much they dislike everyday, ordinary Americans. Fact of the matter is that whoever it is that comes in and buys MSDNC, yeah, they're probably going to look at this product and they're going to say, there's too many crazy people here at this network. And of course, if they fire these crazy people like Joy Reid, they're probably going to want to bring everything down. I mean, they're probably going to want to bring down the house. I mean, that they're probably going to want to destroy the network. Meaning that they're probably going to want to let out every little secret, every little bit of corruption, put it in books, put it on their YouTube channels, destroy the credibility of that network much, much further, to the point to where nobody watches it. However, the CNBC brand and NBC brand could still be salvageable. So MSDNC, as you guys are hearing right now, is probably going to go under real soon. Now, like I said, this video right here, for the most part, was about MSDNC. But I do want to talk about the social media component. And here it is. You guys saw the reactions that I played at the very beginning of the video in that compilation piece. And you're probably thinking to yourself, some of these have got to be scripted. Some of these have got to be not just scripted, but some of these have got to be fake. Well, it's possible, but still, and like I said, there'll be more videos on this week. The thing is this right here. Right now, where it is podcast. And it is actually said that it was Barron Trump, Donald Trump's youngest son, who said, hey, Dad, maybe you should go on these podcasts. I mean, Donald Trump did ultimately get Joe Rogan's endorsement at the very last second. You see J.D. Vance go on Theo Vaughn. You see Donald Trump go on Jake and Logan Paul's podcast. You see the man go on podcasts. Of course, it increased his vote totals with young men. As a matter of fact, it looks like Donald Trump may have actually won men under the age of 30 outright, which has not happened for a Republican, I don't think, since the days of Nixon, at least. The political alignment, the political map has shifted, and like I said, we'll be talking a little bit more when we talk about the Democratic Party going forward. But the fact of the matter is this here. This right here was a complete, total repudiation of the woke left, and for the most part, a complete, total repudiation of Msnbc and the social media influencers. I mean, the left-wing social media influencers are in an absolute meltdown right now. They have no idea what the hell happened to them. And they're even creating this conspiracy theory that 15 million votes just magically vanished. Well, it's funny because it was roughly 15 million votes that Joe Biden got in the primaries. I'm not saying this is what it was, but did you think maybe there's 15 million people who voted for Joe Biden that did not vote for Kamala Harris, who said, I'm not going to vote for her? That's a possibility. Or it could just be the fact that the party itself absolutely sucks and people have gone through pure hell for the past 4 years, and quite frankly, they were tired of it. Either way, that type of stuff will be coming up a little bit later on this week. But, as I said earlier, MSDNC is dead. It's gone. It's finished. Regardless of what happens over the course of the next year with Comcast, it's finished. But you guys tell me what you think in the comment section. Make sure you guys please hit the like button, subscribe, share the video, sound off in the comments. This right here will be the afternoon video. I'll get one more video out tonight, which is probably going to talk more about the Democratic Party going forward. However, tomorrow we're going to talk about the left as a whole in probably 2 videos, and we may have a third one on Saturday, so make sure you guys stick around for all. Please hit the like button, subscribe, share the video, sound off in the comments, and I'll see you guys later.